All right, let's talk belts for a minute. So like 3 years ago, I made a video about my NexBelt failing. I got some comments in that video where people thought it was a little suspect or something that I was making that video. A lot of people were like, oh, I've had my NexBelt for 6 months and I haven't had any issues with it. Or I've had my NexBelt for a year and it's still rock solid. And look, that's great. That's fantastic. I'm happy that your NexBelt is working out for you. I hope it doesn't fail on you, because it's not something you want, and it's not something I want for anybody else either. But I figured I'd explain why I made that video and the kind of mindset that I was in when I made it. So yeah, 3.5 years ago, whenever that was, that I made that video, when I decided I needed to start carrying a gun around, for my safety, my family's, whatever. I started looking into, some like decent gear. I know you don't want like super cheap gear when you're carrying a gun. You want a good sturdy belt and you want a good holster. I'd never spent 60 bucks on a belt before. The most I'd ever spent on a belt was like 8 to 10 bucks. And honestly, the belts that I wore the most were just like these kind of cloth belts that you would come with like my cargo shorts from like Target. I'd never spent 60 bucks on a belt. If I needed a nice leather belt, I'd go to Kohl's or something and buy one. If I needed it for like a wedding or something, then it would sit in my closet for a couple of years and just rot. So 60 bucks was a lot for a belt for me at that time. So you can imagine my disappointment when I sprung for this NexBelt, and then within like a month and a half, it started slipping on me. I think it was maybe 2 months. It was not very long when it started slipping. I was pretty pissed. So yeah, I contacted the company and they sent me out a second belt, and then it started slipping as well after like a month and a half. And it was then and there that I decided I could not trust my NexBelt anymore, and I ordered the core belt. NexBelt did send me a third belt, but I decided I would only wear it as a work belt, so I'm not allowed to carry a gun at my job anyways. And so yeah, I've just been wearing it as a work belt for the last few years. And honestly, I still wouldn't wear it as a gun belt ever anyways. It just feels a little chintzy to me. But I've had some people ask me how my core belt was holding up and whatever, and so that's what this video is actually about. It's my update on my core belt. And also I will say now that Core did reach out to me a few months ago, and they said they wanted to send me a belt. I asked them why. I asked them if it was about the video that I made 3 years ago, and they said it was about that video. They said they just wanted to send me a belt. Obviously, I'm like, all right, well, what's the catch? They said no catch. Look, just pick out a belt. Go to our website, look at our belts, look at our buckles, pick out a combination, and we will just send it to you free of charge. No catch. They said if I wanted to make a video and do like an update on how my other core belt has held up over the last 3 years and whatever, then they would send me another belt after that. So of course I'm going to make a video. Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't I? I love their belts. Their belt has held up fantastic for me for the last 3 years. This thing still looks brand new. This belt is the X1 belt. This is one I bought. I love this belt. I'm just looking for scratches and stuff, and honestly, it looks damn near new. It does have a little kind of kink in it somewhere. Oh, you can see it's kind of got like a little warp to it, just where like a belt loop hits it or something. It's not too bad. It does not have any kind of serious wear or anything. Looks like I might have caught something sharp on the inside there. Just kind of roughed it up a little bit in one little spot. That is it, man. This thing, the finish on the buckle is holding up extremely well. This belt is solid, man, honestly. I don't know how well you can hear this. I don't have my condenser mic or anything here. This is just my phone mic, and my phone is in a dust-proof case. But I don't know how well you can hear that, but that is a very positive click on that thing. Just for a comparison here, I'll show you the NexBelt. Much lighter, and the NexBelt, you can tell it's a lot easier to push because I don't think it's a spring that they use. I think it's something with magnets in there or whatever, but they're not real strong. Yeah, it's very, very light. The core belt though is extremely positive. It is. God, the spring is so strong on it too. blown away by how well this thing is. I actually like this belt so much that I bought my brother one for Christmas. Not this last Christmas, but the Christmas before that. So he's had his for like 14 months. So when Corbelt contacted me, I shot my brother a text just to ask him how he liked his belt. We don't talk very often. He lives in a completely different state and whatever, so it's not like I see him all the time. So yeah, I had to send him a text, be like, hey, how's your belt holding up? You like it? His exact words were that he effing loves it. He said his waistline fluctuates quite a bit, and he loves the micro adjustments of the ratcheting belt. And I believe these are 1/4 inch adjustments. So yeah, you got a wide range of adjustments there with that. Man, honestly, I cannot stop saying good things about this belt. I absolutely love it. You know, you get up in your, for me, you know, I get up in my truck, whatever. My belly kind of hangs over my belt a little bit, and it's a little tight. All I gotta do is just flick that little lever, and you know, my belt's loose. And then as soon as I hop out of my truck, I just reach down and just push it in like an inch, and I'm cinched back up. It is perfect. This X1 belt, I believe, has a 4-pound load rating, which isn't really a big deal if you carry in the waistband like me, since you're just pinching your gun against your body anyways. The belt that I picked out from them, though, one thing I will say too, when I got on their website to pick the belt, I was pretty shocked to see the different selection of belts. The only reason why I picked the NexBelt over the Corbelt originally, when I first started looking for a gun belt, I actually found the Corbelt first, and then I found the NexBelt. And I picked the NexBelt just because I liked the design of the buckle better at the time, and I wanted a canvas belt, and Core did not have canvas belts at that time. Core belts, their buckles kind of have this like squared look to them, and I liked kind of the curved part of the NexBelt buckle. I like curves, man. So yeah, the NexBelt buckle was just aesthetically more pleasing to me. So yeah, I was happy when I got on the website and saw that they actually have a lot of different new designs on their buckles and stuff, and they got whole different lines. They got canvas belts, they got wider ones as well, and they had this Western line of belts. And so I was looking at the Western line, and this one is it's buffalo leather, and it's man, it feels really good, man. It's a good looking belt, and it's a good feeling belt. It kind of has a soft feel to it while still being rigid like a gun belt. This one has a 6-pound load rating on it. I don't know if I said that or not. So I'm kind of mixing and matching here though too, because the buckle I picked out, if you go to the website, you'll see that their belts are kind of categorized differently. The buckle was not in the Western line. This was actually in the same line of belts as the X1. So yeah, I'm mixing and matching a little bit, and this is where the one little issue is that I have with this belt. This buffalo leather belt, I don't think it's any thicker than the X1 belt, but the edges are not tapered where the stitching is, and the front of the belt is kind of squared. The X1 belt, where the stitching is, the belt tapers on the very edge, and it tapers on the front. And the reason why I point that out is because with this particular buckle and this particular belt, when you go to put it in, it wants to stop. And that's because the spring system on the back here, it wants to push the belt upward as it goes in, and then this squared lip on the front of the belt catches on that ledge right there as it goes in. And it's not a huge deal, honestly. You can just kind of push through it. It's just something I noticed when I first went to put the belt on. I'm like, oh, what's that catching on? And I was like, oh, okay, it's just pushing that in. And it literally is just this particular combination of belt and buckle that I picked too. Because if I take my X1 buckle with the buffalo belt, it does not do it, obviously, because it has these bars that go across the buckle here. So there's no lip for it to catch on. And likewise, if I take the X1 belt and put it in this buckle, it doesn't catch on either, because the front of the belt is actually tapered enough that it still goes in smooth, even with the little chingus on the back pushing the belt up. Still not a problem. Yeah, I mean, I'm literally just looking for something wrong to kind of complain about with these belts. You know, a lot of people, when they do reviews on things, they just tell you like all the high points and whatever, and it's kind of like, all right, tell me something bad about it. There's got to be something. So that's literally the only thing that I don't really care for about this belt, or this combination right here, is it just kind of catches right there on the front. They did tell me that this Western line of belts too, it's just because it's a softer leather, it is going to show scratches and wear and things like that. And that's kind of what it's like made to do. You know, I know a lot of like EDC people like that battle worn type look to their gear and whatever. So whatever. Either way though, I've been wearing this belt for a few months and it still looks phenomenal. It still looks damn near brand new, honestly. I still don't see any scratches on it, so I really don't know what the hell they're talking about. So yeah, I'm sure this thing, I'm going to get years and years of great use out of this belt. Actually, one other thing that I did notice too with this belt, so the holsters that I like to wear are the Vetter holsters. And if you know anything about Vetter holsters, they have a really strong spring steel clip on them. I noticed that the first time I went to put my gun on my belt, it didn't seem like it went over the belt all the way, and it kind of didn't. I had to like reach up here and kind of push the bottom of the clip over the edge of the belt. It doesn't really do it when I'm not wearing it though. I mean, it just clips on perfectly fine. The other thing too is it also, when I'm not wearing it, it looks like it slides good, but this belt actually fills this Vetter clip pretty well. And when this is on your body and stuff, it binds up, so you really can't, you know, for me, like I wear my gun like right up my 3 o'clock position, and sometimes I want it just a little bit further forward or a little bit further back. So I might just reach down and just slide my gun back a little bit, just in the holster, just like that. You can't really do that with this belt though. When I'm wearing it, it does not want to slide at all. And that's not an issue with the X1 belt, because it has these tapered edges, and it is a slicker belt. It slides a lot easier on the belt itself if I needed to just move my gun forward or back just a little bit. But it's still secure on there though. But yeah, if you like holsters with kind of like these plastic clips on them, they have a lot more room inside of them, so that's not really going to be an issue with the buffalo leather. Yeah, I don't know, just something to think about, I guess. But yeah, I love core belts, man. I cannot stop saying enough good things about them. Even though they're going to send me another belt for making this video, supposedly. You know, even if they didn't, I still recommend their belts to everybody. The one I've been wearing for 3 years is still as solid as the day that I got it. I've had 0 issues with it at all. Their belts look good. Even if this one's made to show wear, man, I'm telling you, it is not really showing any wear. And the one I've been wearing for 3 years is still perfect. So yeah, I love my core belts. I'll never have another belt as long as I live. I will always buy core brand belts, and they are the only belt that I will recommend to anyone. And even if you're not a gun person, if you just want a good belt, they have regular belts too that don't have the stiffer core on the inside of them. So yeah, that's it. If you're thinking about a new belt, get a core. Oh, one other quick thing I just wanted to show too, I forgot. When Core sent me that other belt, they sent me this nifty little hanger thing here, so you can hang your belts up in your closet. Yeah, it's pretty nifty. Yeah, and I'd just like to also say thanks to the guys at Core for sending out this belt. Love it. Love your guys' products.